This is a lecture. There is a change that is occurring in today's world that cannot be seen by most people. So while you are working, sleeping and living your normal routine of life, a computer is learning how to do your job better than you have ever been able to do it. By 2030, it is projected that an enormous 300 million jobs will become obsolete because of this innovation. They will not migrate to a new country. They will not wait for a better economic system to offer a fresh start. When a new opportunity arises, they will just disappear. This is no longer about robots in factories. This is now about algorithms displacing lawyers, doctors, artists and programmers. People who actually thought that they were going to be just fine. This video will show you what is happening, who is already losing, and what you need to do right now to make sure you will be able to survive what is coming at you. Because time is of the essence. There is a room that will never be entered. It is situated in a tower in San Francisco, on the top floor, hiding behind doors of glass that don't have names engraved upon them. 30 engineers are seated in that environment, analyzing computer displays full of numerical data that is increasing by the hour. They aren't tracking a product launch or a new app. They are tracking something else. An indicator that maintains a record of how many human tasks have been performed by the software in a day. It was at 47,000 yesterday. Presently, it is above 68,000. By next month, they expect 1 million. In none of them is there a word said about the people whom those individuals used to be. That is because they do not need to. This is because it is irrelevant to the software. This is because it only accomplishes one thing. This is accomplished faster, cheaper, and better. This is where the start of the AI war occurred. This is not where it occurred in a blast of explosions or in a statement of intent. This is where it all happened in a chain of closed rooms where intellectuals figured out problems that they thought were unsolvable. Problems such as creating systems that could analyze contracts, program code, diagnose a medical issue, or create artwork. First of all, people thought that this technology only aided human activities. This was communicated through the press release. This is an affirmation that was conveyed by the executive to society. Behind closed doors, those engineers knew something else. They're not building assistants, they're creating a replacement. But how has all this transpired without anyone noticing? This was a slow process, and people were not aware that a transition had actually taken place. In 2019, a major insurance company was ecstatic about its claim that it created software that enabled it to process claims much faster. That's so awesome. What they failed to say is that this same software eliminated 700 claims processors in the first half of that year. They got an email on a Friday afternoon, cold, to the point, and professionally prepared. Your position has been eliminated as a function of operational restructuring. They were not fired because they were not good at what they were doing. They were just more expensive than a computer algorithm that only costs $50,000 a year. This computer algorithm was capable of performing a job in place of 100 employees without breaks, vacations or benefits. Simple math, hard consequences. But if you thought that was shocking, just wait until you see who they came for next. By 2021, it was at a stage where it could not be overlooked that it was a phenomenon. In one law firm in New York that had recently hired 200 young attorneys, it decided to form a new partnership with a firm that was known for its expertise in artificial intelligence technology. This technology allowed it to read law documents, prepare precedents, and compose contracts. It ran round the clock without making errors comparable to human beings who also ran round the clock. This particular firm was able to lower the number of young attorneys from 200 to 87 in 18 months. More than half. Gone. This was an improvement in their view, as it would make the remaining attorneys free to concentrate on more pressing business. This was at least their thinking. It is something else completely for 113 attorneys who lost their positions. They spent 7 years studying, have a school loan of $200,000, and have weathered one of the toughest bar exams in the world. It was no longer of any use. In a much shorter period of time than they accomplished it, a computer algorithm could do what they have done at a fraction of an attorney's annual salary. But it was not just those attorneys. the medical field was about to experience a similar horror. This was also true in radiology labs in hospitals. For several decades, radiologists spent years learning how to use their skills in interpreting X-rays, CTs, and MRIs. They earned a lot of money in exchange for the gift of life that they could provide. Software firms emerged that provided a product that could view medical images quickly, much better than radiologists. This was already attested in a study in 2023, showing that its accuracy was 97% in identifying a possible breast cancer through its use of artificial intelligence, while human radiologists have an accuracy of 86%. Hospitals calculated costs. The cost of the software system license is $100,000 a year. The cost of a radiologist is $400,000 a year. This equation was not rocket science. It was just not a smart business decision. In 2024, radiology residency positions dropped by 35%. Few medical students are drawn to this particular specialty nowadays. They were aware of the future that awaited them. Positions such as this one will soon become a thing of the past. It was, however, at this stage that it became quite creepy. This technology was not limited to repetitive work and technical occupations. It also extended further to the aspect of creativity. In 2022, a machine took home first prize in a state fair painting contest. This is unbelievable. This artist has won this contest through his work, and he uses a software program known as Midjourney. He needed to type out a description of his intended artwork, and in 15 minutes, a digital painting was produced. 15 minutes. Artists learning painting techniques in an entire lifetime were swindled out of a prize that was given to a person who never heard of such a thing as art, never felt emotion, and never had a story to tell through that piece of artwork. That's all it calculated, a combination of millions of images that were already floating around in cyberspace. When it came to authors, a similar invasion occurred. Content creators discovered that they could use AI to generate text, blog entries, and product descriptions. It was no literary masterpiece, but one thing was clear: people no longer needed that. It was adequate for internet purposes, adequate for social websites, and adequate for business websites. In fact, a software solution costs only a monthly fee of $30 in cyberspace. Conversely, a freelance writer charges a writer $50 per article. They calculated costs naturally and let go of contract workers. About 50,000 authors of content lost fixed writing clients because of AI software by the year 2023. Some of them tried to outcompete the AI software by offering lower costs. Other people gave up in hopelessness and looked for new jobs. Other people decided that it was simpler to use the AI software than those in the military who stole a livelihood from them. But it just gets nuttier and nuttier. Even programmers got caught in all this danger. Even coders, those designing all of these systems, are lost in that game as well. One product that was developed by GitHub is named Copilot. This product produces code after receiving a simple description of it. One computer programmer will explain to his computer what he wishes his code to do, and that computer will spout out code in a matter of a heartbeat. It is aware of dozens of computer languages. It does not have to take a coffee break to focus. Found that one programmer with Copilot is as productive as 3 programmers without it. So, what happened to those programmers? They decided to keep one of them. They laid off or let go of the remaining. Businesses that recruited in large numbers in 2021 are currently laying off thousands of workers in 2023, 2024. It was named right-sizing. It was named strategic alignment. They never named it as it is, picking software over human beings because human beings pay more. This is outright cruel. It is those who have created technology that displaces workers who are being displaced by that same technology. But the data paints an ever darker picture. There is a story in numbers that everyone is unwilling to hear. Goldman Sachs also issued a report that estimates that as many as 300 million full-time jobs will be automated through the use of AI in the coming decade. Then comes a report by McKinsey that indicates as many as 800 million people will need a new job from today to 2030 because the job that they do will no longer exist. This is not something that will occur in a few decades. This is what will happen in 5 years. This is 1,800 days from today. This is not a lot of time to learn a new job. Moreover, those who make such decisions, that is, the corporate leaders and investors, are not staying awake at night over this. This is because businesses have a substitute for human labor in the form of AI. On average, a customer service unit that employs 500 people will need an annual budget of $15 million. Based on similar call volume, an AI system will need an annual budget of just $200,000. This means that a saving of $14.8 million is achieved per annum. Stock prices go up because of those optimization announcements. This is because it means that shareholders have become richer. This boosts business payouts through innovative means of reducing costs. In 2024, the average S&P 500 CEO's salary is 344 times higher than that of his average worker. This gap will continue to worsen as employees will not reap the benefits of increased productivity achieved through AI. Rather, it will be reaped by those who own companies. But it's not just about the numbers that get cranked out in a spreadsheet analysis. This is about real people, ruined lives. I'd like to tell you about Sarah. This is more than statistics. This is a human story. This is a story of a woman named Sarah. She was in customer service before joining that firm. She was in that firm for 11 years. She enjoyed working. She was performing well in her job. It will be reaped by those who own companies. She was also mentoring new people in that line. She was also getting a positive performance assessment yearly. She got an email in March 2024 to come to a meeting the following day. She came. Her superiors and a human resources representative were already at the meeting. It was a 4-minute meeting, 4 minutes before ending 11 years. They introduced a new chat system for an AI that was capable of answering all of the common customer service inquiries. They planned to reduce all of workers in her division from 200 to 35. She was not one of those 35. They gave her 2 months of severance benefits as well as assistance in finding a new job. She was able to clean out her office that same afternoon. During the following 3 months, Sarah searched for similar jobs in other firms. She sent out a total of 127 job applications. She received a total of 11 responses. 4 of these were automated responses that conveyed that she was rejected. 7 of these invitations to apply were for jobs that paid 40% less than she was getting. None of those leads looked promising. This was because the skills that existed in those positions are skills that she does not have. Computer programming, data analysis, online marketing, Fahrleverzante people kromme eins time, data analysis, online marketing, Fahrleverzante people kromme eins time for computer programming, data analysis, online marketing. She was a 43-year-old high school graduate with experience in customer service amounting to 11 years. This was not much in a world where companies prioritized cheap algorithmic solutions over human labor. She was working part-time as a grocery store employee in a grocery chain shop 6 months after she lost her job. She was also driving a ride-sharing service on weekends. Her income was reduced by 50%. She also spent all of her savings. She was not lazy. She was not a lackluster worker. She was simply more expensive than a computer algorithm. Cases such as that of Sarah are becoming more frequent. A graphic designer in Mumbai lost her job because of a decision by her company to use Midjourney to create marketing materials. An accountant in Chicago lost his job because his company discovered software that could be used to prepare tax returns automatically. A journalist in London noted that his company decreased its workforce because of the use of AI to generate basic news articles related to sports results and stock market trends. But this is what scares me most about all of this. This is what no one wants to admit. This is only the beginning. What we see in terms of current AI technology is merely child's play compared to what is immediately awaiting us in the future. They're error-prone. They need human oversight. They do not have the skills that will solve complex problems involving human ingenuity, but they are rapidly evolving nonetheless. They're evolving at an exponential rate. Every few months, a new version is coming out that is exponentially more evolved than its predecessors. Language ability is no better than that of a 5-year-old in GPT-3. GPT-4 is capable of passing professional-level tests. It answers tough problems. Improvement in AI will emerge soon. At some point in the coming years, we will pass a point of no return, after which AI will no longer just be cheaper than human labor, but also better. Diagnosis provided by physicians, counsel provided by attorneys, lessons provided by teachers, solutions offered by therapists, business acumen provided by managers. This is a diverse group of activities that all require a unique set of human skills, empathy, wisdom, leadership skills. Moreover, AI scientists are also involved in creating just that. They have developed methods that will be capable of understanding human emotions, finding innovative answers, as well as expressing empathy. Nobody is aware of how long it will take to become an expert in all that. However, one thing is clear in all this: any job that has a definable sequence of input and output will eventually be automatable. Also, all jobs are definable as a sequence of input and output if one examines them closely. Therefore, what is the solution? How do you withstand what is to come? What is the solution, therefore? In a world in which computers can do all kinds of knowledge work better than human beings, how do people such as you go ahead? First of all, I'd like to make you understand that you are not going to be replaced by a computer. What's going to replace you is somebody who understands how to use artificial intelligence. Consider what occurred in previous technology shifts. Personal computers revolutionized the business world in the 1980s. Employees who adjusted to new technology were successful. Employees who failed to adapt to new technology failed. The internet caused a paradigm shift in how businesses operated in the 1990s. Businesses that embraced technology survived. Businesses that failed to exploit technology went bankrupt. This is exactly what happens in AI today. Whoever learns to adapt to this new technology will have a gigantic advantage over those who decide to act as if this technology is not taking place. This is a true story. There is a guy named Marcus. He was an electrician for 19 years in Detroit. Now that his factory was automated, eliminating most of its maintenance jobs, he discovered that he no longer had skills. He is just 47 years old. He is too young to be retired. He is also too experienced to start in a new area as a laborer. Nevertheless, he was not one who easily surrendered to his situation. Moreover, he was able to learn in just 6 months how to use AI technology. Did not attempt to program a new one. Attempted to use an AI that could program in his stead. ChatGPT helped him develop a simple app that connects laid-off factory workers to homeowners who require electrical work. This app is not that complex, but it works. After a year, he was running a small business and earning a steady income. Did he build a fortune? No chance, but he managed to stay alive. In Mumbai, a graphic designer had a similar experience. When Midjourney started to threaten her livelihood, rather than compete against it, she learned how to use Midjourney. She figured out how to use this technology as a tool that allowed her to accomplish 10 times as much within a given time frame. She does not have to spend her days thinking of new ideas. She will use technology to come up with dozens of those, and she will superimpose her expertise to filter those ideas until they are refined to perfection. Her clients were not perturbed that she was employing artificial intelligence. They simply knew that she was offering them an improved product in record-breaking time. This is occurring in all sectors. Educators are using AI to develop learning programs that will greatly benefit all students. Technological advancements through AI will soon assist medical practitioners in diagnosing diseases at an earlier stage. Technological advancements through AI systems will assist attorneys in identifying fast precedents. It is the human aspect that will be left that will not be fighting this technology. They will be implementing this technology in terms of what they do to make value out of it. This is because they will be doing something that this technology is not capable of. Note though that this is not what most people will do. But the thing is, this is not what most people will do. They will wait. They will hope. They will hope that perhaps they are somehow different, that perhaps they will not be replaced. They will observe all that is warning them away and wave it off. They will conclude that that is just not them. They will wait for that call when it is all said and done. 5 years until 2030. That is a long period of time in the future. At least that was my impression until I took a moment to sit back and observe how quickly 5 years have flown by. We were looking back at the year 2020, 5 years ago. Consider how fast those 5 years have come and gone. How much has happened in 5 years? Now take 5 more years of fast improvement in AI strength. Imagine an AI a 10-fold improvement over what we have now. This is not Star Trek. This is where we're going. It is not a matter of when this will occur. It is a matter of whether you will be prepared when that eventuality happens. It is a matter of whether you will prepare for it today. So what do you do? What are the actual steps you need to take right now? This is what I'd have you do. First, go to ChatGPT or Claude or one of the top platforms of AI that is already out there. Make a free account if you need to. Now use this AI technology to solve a problem that is actually related to your work, an email that is tricky to get to your client, a question that needs answering. Do not use this exposure of the AI for a foolish purpose. This is not a time to practice interrogating this AI with foolish questions. This is a time to use this AI service for a meaningful purpose. You shall observe how capable this AI is, what it is not capable of. This is not a time to become an expert in artificial intelligence. This is a time to become an expert in using artificial intelligence. Second, identify which facets of your work consist of repetitive or formulaic actions that you perform identically, repeatedly. This is where you easily find areas that need automating. Finally, identify those areas that need human insight or a human understanding of what is actually taking place. This is where all of those messy, complicated problems that don't have easy answers are. This is where your human element is. Start thinking about how you can spend more of your time in the second column of activities. Make yourself the one leveraging the use of AI to get more accomplished, rather than the one who is being replaced by it. Thirdly, you have to learn something new that is related to what you are doing. So, if I do writing, I have to learn data analysis so that I will be able to back up my writing with data. So if I am working in finance, I have to learn programming languages so that I will be able to do calculations automatically. So if I am in the medical field, I have to learn about AI tools so that I can use those tools. I don't have to be talented at all of these. I merely need to understand them sufficiently to do better than I'm presently doing. It will be folks such as these, as opposed to experts in one particular field, that will find a means of survival. Fourth, you have to understand that you're in a situation in a particular moment that may or may not exist 5 years down the road, in the same form that it exists today. This is not a pessimistic viewpoint, this is just reality. But if you're planning for what's to come, you get to determine what happens next, instead of just being a reaction to what's happening next. You're in a spot where you get to be on the right side of everything that's happening next, instead of just hoping everything is okay. The AI war is already upon us. It's a battle that is being waged in meeting rooms, in executive suites, in conference calls, as decisions are being made about which of our colleagues will be replaced by machines. You didn't choose this particular war. You chose not to compete against machines, but it's your turn to make a decision that will come your way. In 5 years, people will be divided in terms of those in society's labor force, depending on whether they managed to learn ways of working well with technology in such a manner that allowed them to exploit it, to do more of what they were capable of. While those who felt that their line of work was in a different class altogether, that they wouldn't have to do anything else, that everything would just work itself out. What sort of group will you one day be a part of? Either one will be working, and one will be trying to find something that no longer exists. That will depend upon what happens in the next few months. Therefore, I have a challenge for you. Before you go to sleep at night, open ChatGPT. Ask one question related to your activities. Watch what happens. That is all that is required. It will not take a lot of time. It will not cost you a penny. It could be easily the determinant of whether you have a career in 2030 or have to plan out your life. The future is not something that happens to a man, but something he makes. You have a chance to make a future in which you're not a victim of this war of the AI-generated machines. You have a chance to make a future that you're one of those people that have seen what's been happening and have planned accordingly. You have a chance to make a future in which you're thriving versus just trying to make it. This opportunity will not wait around. Time is running out. This revolution is taking place at a fast pace. There is only one question that matters. What will you do about it? You don't need to wait for permission. You don't need to wait for the right timing. You don't need to wait until you are forced to evolve. Essentially, because the world isn't waiting around for you to figure everything out. Peer ahead 5 years, and this moment will either be that moment that will alter your path in your future, or that moment that passed you by in your future. Choose your path. Make it count. This video has opened your eyes to what is coming. Don't keep it within yourself. Share it with someone who needs this warning. Click that subscribe button to Nke Oma Documentary channel because we have more truth that is not being said out in the open. Comment below. State your job and whether you feel you have a secure job. See you in our next video.